Fruit Battlegrounds is one of the biggest battleground games on Roblox right now, with currently 11,000 players playing as I'm writing this now. Despite my enjoyment of this formula of game when you get an ability, level up by using moves, and explore an entirely free world, playing this game more and thinking about it let me come to the conclusion that in general, games of this type are poorly designed, with the flow and quality of battle mechanics placed second to the game's main goal, suck you dry of Robux. Today I've got quite a few points against this game, so yeah, this is when the script ends, and I'm first going to be talking about probably the least controversial things to the most controversial points that I have about this game in particular, and a lot of games that are like it. So 1, it's not friendly to new players at all. Now, the thing about me is that I've been playing games like these battleground games for literal years, with games like Glitch Battle of Souls, for example. That's like where I started. I played that game for probably like 100 hours, hundreds of hours probably, because I love that game. After my experience with that and then games just kind of intermixed, I have a lot of experience with these games, but for someone who's completely new, just joining Fruit's Battlegrounds for the first time, this is probably the worst game for them. And that's because of how everything else works, but I want to get into that a little bit later. So my second point is that the world is very empty. Now, I understand the point is that the world is pretty empty, you're just supposed to be able to explore, do whatever you want, stuff like that. But the world is so empty, oh my god, it's so empty. Most of the time, if you're a new player that is, and you have a new fruit or whatever, it's probably going to like Chop or something like uncommon like Falcon. You're not going to be able to just fight anyone that you see like in a lot of other games like this without leveling. In this game, there's a lot of leveling, and I'm not exactly against that, it's just how it works, which I'll talk about later. But overall, the world is very, very empty. A lot of the time, you're just going to be spent running around and doing completely nothing and just spamming your abilities so that you can get more levels and maybe fight whoever you see next. Third point, it's very luck based. The game pretty much depends on you getting a good roll to get a good fruit so that you can actually fight people. If your fruit is bad, no matter how high your level is, like if you have Chop and you're like, I don't know, level 100 or something like that, you're still probably going to get beat by like a level 30 Magma player or something like that, you know what I mean? That's what I mean by luck based, because the game is way less skill based and more about luck, because the higher rarity your fruit is, the higher chance that it's just amazing and will eclipse any skill that you have. I'll talk about skill more later again. 4, this is when I said I was going to go talk about leveling in a minute. Basically, my issue with leveling is not necessarily that there is levels and that moves are locked behind those levels. It's the fact that you get more health and damage with those levels. Now, this is again another old example, but with Glitch Battle of Souls, a game that's very, very similar to this, and a game that's pretty old, like pre-COVID old, like it's pretty damn old, you probably never played it. But eventually, leveling in that game, it worked as this. Every one level that you get 1 extra health, and your moves don't do any more damage than that. Originally, I didn't explain why that's a good system, but it's a good system because plus 1 health gives you more incentive to level past 20, which is when in Glitch you get all of your moves for every single character. And the 1 health difference doesn't really make that much of a difference whenever you're fighting someone who's just level 20 and you're like level 100. All that means is that you have 200 health and they have 120 health. If they're better than you, then it's still entirely possible that you can easily lose to them if they're just, again, better than you, making that a way more skill-based and better system. That's way more fair. I think that was a really good system, but in this game they kind of cranked it up. What they did is that you get like, I don't know exactly how much more health you get per level, but I do know that your moves start doing more damage. That means that if you're super high level and some noob is more skilled than you at the game because they have more experience or something with these kind of games, then you're still going to beat them easily because you're high level and because all your moves are probably stunned and you have a super rare fruit and like you have like 780 health. Crazy ass shit. So 5, boring grind. The grind in this game is very boring. There's nothing that actually speeds it up aside from like the 2 times events that happen like every weekend, I think. I mean, there is one right now, but that's not like a normal thing, you know what I mean? The grind is very boring because the only way to level up is by using your skills. If you're not using your skills, you're not getting any levels. And if you kill players, you don't actually get any levels, which is probably the strangest thing about this game. Literally the only way to get levels is by using your skills. And that's really boring, especially when you combine it to the empty world, the anti-noob players, because the high levels, they will come out of the woodworks and kill you. If they see you across the map, they're going to come and snipe you if they're bored. They're going to come and snipe you, 100% chance with no benefit to them, because it raises their bounty. And bounty does completely nothing. It's really strange. 6, pay to win. This game wants to suck you dry of Robux, as I said in the introduction, with different things like 2 times XP, more fruit storage, and these things are exorbitantly expensive. 2 times XP for 499 Robux, that is directly $5. That is $5. That's not even $5 anymore. That's like $6 now in Robloxian fucking currency. 2 times boss drop is also insane. Fast spin for 200 Robux, what a ripoff. Extra fruit storage for nearly 800 Robux, 749 Robux. Like, do you see what I mean? Absolutely pay to win stuff right here. The fruit storage isn't absolutely necessary, but the 2 times XP thing can really make it so that you just get better than other players by spamming your same moves in the same way, so you just get better faster, which is pay to win. That's like the definition of pay to win. At least I don't think that you can there's not a thing where it's like, oh, you have 4 times more chance of getting an epic fruit or some stupid shit like that. Now, 7, these are my most contentious points. This game is not skill based. I've of course lightly talked about this earlier, but I want to talk about it more. This game is not skill based because if you have a rare fruit, you win. There's no way that you're winning against some guy with a rare fruit, even if you are the same level. Now, naturally, every single game ever that has different classes and such, pretty much all of them have the issue of these classes aren't perfectly balanced. One is better than the other, because to make make different things distinct, you have to give them different abilities. Now, that's completely understandable, but the balancing in this game is completely absurd. Again, Glitchto, Battle of Souls reference. You probably never played it again, but commons could easily beat the legendary classes because of how the game worked. If you had enough skill, you could easily beat rare classes. In this game, there's no world where you can actually beat rare classes with commons. There's no world where fucking Barrier is going to beat Magma, or Barrier is going to beat Love, or Chop is going to beat Light. No world, especially if you guys are high level and you have that teleporting thing that I don't have, because I don't live off this game, you know what I mean? And again, about that teleporting thing, it's basically like whoever has a higher level wins. And leveling isn't even a skill-based thing. All you do is spam your abilities to level up. There are private servers for 400. So of course it's exorbitantly priced. But I bet if you buy that private server, you just AFK with a macro or something, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just go to sleep. You're probably going to be level 100 or something, and then you can wreak havoc on all the servers. Or you can just sit here manually while watching a video, spam those abilities on servers with a very low amount of people, and just wreak havoc. There's no skill when it comes to leveling. There's no skill when it comes to actually fighting you. Skill only really matters if you guys are super low level and you have a similar common type. I just thought about this while I was re-listening to what I was saying. I'm imagining that someone in the comments is gonna be well, technically it is possible for Chop to beat someone who's super high level and way stronger. Well, I want you to look at this footage of me getting absolutely bodied and tell me what exactly you're supposed to do in this situation. I swear to God, no matter what I had in this situation, I was completely fucked. No world where Chop can win this fight, because Chop is shit. Chop is terrible. Even if I had that weird super instantaneous movement or whatever, I was going to lose that fight because Chop is the inferior fruit, and that's just how this game works. Of course, I have beaten people who have better fruits before, but that still doesn't make the game skill based. It just makes me specifically better than that other person. That other person still had a way better ability than me. And if I was intensely skilled, then I would do way better with that ability. Way better. 8. Dry combat. The combat in this game is very dry. It's very simple. All you have for defensive options are dashing and blocking. There's no sort of parrying, nothing like that. So since you can only dash and block, the only things that can counter that are predicting where your enemy is going to go, or using a move that will break the enemy's guard. Usually that's a 4-punch combo. If they stop blocking in that combo, they're going to get hit. So blocking is only really useful against certain projectiles. As I played this game a good bit, I've learned that even if you do block, if someone's high enough level, they can just spam their moves super fast if they have good enough fruit as well, so that whenever you start blocking, they're eventually going to break your guard or something like that. So blocking is basically pointless, so that leaves dodging. A lot of moves have big AoE attacks, which just like Sand's first attack, for example. I know that one, and Magma's first attack. Magma's one isn't even blockable, and that's a massive AoE that leaves I think it leaves little pieces of fire that you can step on and take damage from. I'm not exactly sure, but it does have a massive AoE attack that will hit you for a lot of damage and you can't block it. Sans one is also a massive AoE attack, but you can block it, making that one actually more fair. But those kind of attacks I think are in the minority. And even then, if they're super high level, again, they can just spam all their moves. So basically, the aim of this game is trying to hit your enemy first and getting them into a ragdoll state so that you can then spam all of your craziest moves on them and hope that they die. That's basically how this game works if you have a high tier fruit. That's the end of this video. Even though the combat's really dry, even though it's anti-new players, the world is empty as hell, it's super boring, it's obscenely luck based. If you get a really good fruit and you just stick with it, you're gonna wreck everybody. The leveling mechanics with how you get more health and more damage completely sucks ass. The grind is insanely boring. It's incredibly pay to win, clearly pay to win. It's not even skill based at all, and it's very dry combat wise. As I said, I still have fun with this game. I think this game has all the flaws in the world, but I still have so much fun playing it. That's not all that matters to me. I still think that it's important to recognize that this game sucks ass, but don't let this video dissuade you from continuing to play the game, or even persuade you from not even trying to get good at the game. You know, the game is still pretty fun, honestly. I do have a good time whenever I am playing it. Although the main thing about it is that sort of good time is pretty spread out, because it's very rare to actually find someone who's your level that you can beat the shit out of. So that's also part of it. It's either people are babies or they're gods. There's no in between usually. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I enjoy this game and I will continue to play it, but I just recognize that it's shit. Anyway, see you in my next Roblox video maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna make this a thing, okay? Low edited Roblox videos on secondary. Subscribe to my main. Goodbye.